Okay, every time that I have done this is the times when I have manifested a miracle. And when I say miracle, like I really mean these big miracle. It doesn't matter what circumstances are. It doesn't matter if it's the weather. It doesn't matter if it's your person. It doesn't matter what somebody said or what circumstances or it really doesn't matter anything. When you figure out the ability that you have to manifest and just how much circumstances don't matter, no matter how big it may seem. And when you figure out how to live in this vibration where you are detached and no circumstance or idea on the outside illusion space of reality can affect you, it's a really badass, fucking awesome place to live. It's a really cool place to be. So, a lot of things we learn in retrospect. And I've manifested a lot of miracles in my life. And the like part of how I came to this realization is that we know that in order to manifest what you want, you have to feel it real. Now, some people may disagree with that, but that's because feeling is relative. So you don't really know what exactly you're feeling or what vibration that you're in relative to someone else. But there is some vibration that you're in that ultimately is going to be in alignment with whatever it is that you manifest because it's your vibration that calls it into being. Okay, so we all have different understandings and experiences of that, but essentially, there does have to be some kind of vibration of feeling it real, and that's going to translate into some kind of feeling, like a quality that you can feel. Okay. So here's the problem is what if you are stuck where you feel like you can't feel better, you feel like you can't move your vibration? Then you're just going to be upset because you're upset about the thing all the time. You know that you're not feeling it real. You know that your thoughts kind of suck and you know that you're not manifesting it and it's just like this cycle, right? Um so what I have noticed when I looked at all the times when I've manifested a miracle, and I'm going to say this, but then there's a lot more to talk about after I say this because this has to do with a lot of other things that you're doing vibrationally in your mind and your emotions. And I'm going to tell you how to help yourself do this. Okay. Because just because you know what it is, it doesn't mean that you can do it, right? I can say, feel it real. It doesn't mean that you can do it. So that's what this video is about. The idea is that it doesn't matter what is going on. That's not the reason why you don't get it. The reason why you don't get it is because of what's going on inside of you. So I noticed that every single time that I manifested a miracle, it's because I just flat out did not, like, I refused for even a second, even a moment, to entertain the negative outcome at all. It was just like, no, we're not doing that. Like, that's not going to happen. And I would not entertain it at all. This, when you do that, when you simply don't entertain something, even for a second, you don't wonder about it, you don't think about it at all, you just automatically is the moment that it comes to your awareness, you're just like, no, that's not, period. It can't happen. Now, here's the thing. If you are feeling bad about, the reality that you're in, you're feeling bad about your circumstances, you're feeling bad because, I want to manifest this thing, but I feel bad. I'm thinking about the circumstance, I feel blah, blah, blah. And like you're on that track where it's just this negative looping cycle and you're worried about it and you feel like crap, you can't drop it. You're having a hard time, detaching, meditating, all that stuff because you're just plagued by the thing, or you just can't get to that next level. You haven't done this yet. You haven't decided for yourself that no, we're not going there. We're not entertaining that. That's not going to that's not going to happen. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not feeling that. We're not entertaining that, period. So if you did that, here's what would happen because what I realized is that when you simply stop entertaining a negative reality, there is a space. Like for a little while, a very short while, you're going to be in a neutral space. But what will end up happening very soon is there's now a space for another reality to come in that is better than the one that you just totally decided to reject and not entertain at all. So that is what ends up happening naturally. So, what I'm saying is, if you're having negative thoughts, it's because you are allowing yourself to entertain the reality that you do not want. And by virtue of entertaining it, now it is a possibility in your life. And the more that you entertain it, the more that it becomes a possibility in your life. And that sucks. And you can feel that, right? So, yes, all you have to do is, and I'm going to get into more like helping you. How do you do that? Because I know that there's a lot of you that you're going to be like, well, I don't know how to do that, right? Okay. But you literally just no. No, oh yeah, we're not going there. No, 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 no. And it's kind of like you remind yourself, "Oh yeah, no, we're not doing that. Oh yeah, no." So this is actually easier than trying to change your thoughts on the thing. It just is. Okay, and so I'm going to kind of go into how this plays into a lot more deeper understandings when it comes to manifesting. Now, I've been going live and showing up and explaining things recently. So if you're not caught up on those videos where I've been going live recently, catch up on those videos because I'm explaining something very, very, very important. Basically, right now, there's a lot of things this comes down to. One is feeling, and you have to learn how to do that. But let's talk about something else first. So, another thing that's really, really important is that you want to manifest like a living God in form. You want to shift timelines. You want to quantum leap. You want to have control over your reality like nobody's business. You want to be that cosmic badass that can manifest whatever you want, whoever you want, whenever you want. Doesn't matter, right? You want to manifest miracles on a dime. You can do that. That actually, like, there's a lot, like, we're going through this point in time right now because we're meant to learn how to do this. And there's this shift going on that right now, what's keeping us back from doing this is that we're interpreting ourselves as human in a linear time space, circumstantial human world. And the interpretation and belief and identity of being human in that sense just is not congruent. It does not mix at all with the idea of being a living God in form who knows how to manifest who, what, when, where you want. So there's a confliction here, and you have to change your sense of identity in order to fix the confliction so that instead of experiencing all of the time space human limitations like, oh, I have a mind and I'm limited to that, or I have a past and that's determining what I have now or what I can have now or who I am right now. You are not limited by anything. You're not any version of yourself that you've been in any other moment in time. And time is also not linear. You can travel in your mind to any moment in time, any reality, since there's an infinite number of parallel realities with no connection to any other. You can choose to go to any reality that you want, which contains your end, contains the version of you that you want, the version of other people that you want, contains the universe that you want to be a part of. You can travel there right now in your mind. You can be there, entertain that, and bring it into your now. So that's what time is. Okay. All the different parallel realities, they all exist in a different time. Okay. And that's one way of understanding it. But if you believe that you're a human in a human suit and you're limited by time, space, and linear reality, you're not going to, what's going to happen is whatever happened in your past is going to start dictating what you're manifesting in your future, and that's going to be it. And that's the experience that a lot of people are having. So literally, I'm going to tell you something that's going to help you detach from the notion of being limited time space human being so that you can use your ability, your agency, gain some agency to be able to make this decision to detach from circumstances and think about this differently. Okay. So you have to detach from your belief of the thing energetically, right? And you know that you're doing that because It's not bothering you anymore. It's not this cyclical thing that's haunting you. And you're not thinking about it all of the time anymore, right? It's not bothering you. You're able to put it down or let it go or think about it differently or not think about it at all or meditate or whatever. Okay. So here is something that helps you do that. You got to understand that you want to detach from the idea of being human at all. So the way that this looks is you have to understand that you are occupying a human avatar. Okay, so like your human suit, your body is part of the ego. It's part of the story. It's part of this circumstantial land that we live in, but it's not you. You are the eternal observer. You are the eternal watcher. And so here's how identity gets you sucked in so that you start getting confused again and you can't detach anymore because of your identity. So if you think about, let's say, something in your past and you identify as this version of you and you're thinking from your past and you're like, oh yeah, I did that, or I thought that, or whatever, that's me. Now you get sucked back into the idea of being human in a linear time space reality that is limited. So you have to create this understanding, this difference, okay, this distinction between who you know that you are, which is just the experiencer, the eternal observer who witnesses everything and can also go anywhere it wants in time space reality. You can quantum leap over here, you can timeline shift over there, you can think differently over there because you don't have none of these things that you have experienced are actually you. None of the things that you have experienced are you. They don't define you and they cannot trap you. Okay. And they cannot determine anything about you. You are infinite, eternal consciousness, watcher, observer, experiencer. Okay. You get to go anywhere that you want. You are not confined by this body. So you also have to know not only nothing that you have done is not you, but also no version of you that you remember being is actually you. And it's not the you that you are right now. Right now, you are whatever you decide to be. You can be anything you want to be right now. You are whoever you want to be right now. You decide what this avatar version of you right now is going to consist of. And that decides your current identity, not past identity. Your current present identity is what decides what your future is going to hold. So, this is why we've been focusing a lot on identity shifting, choosing your identity, because if you're identified, like whatever you're identified with, that's the reality that's going to form around you. So, if you're having a hard time manifesting, switching timelines, stuff like that, it's because you're identified as a version of yourself who can't do that, who doesn't know how to do it. You're human, you're identifying as human. Okay. So, but relaxing on the whole identifying with human, it's difficult. And so I just want you to remember to feel when you have memories and feel when they are kind of bringing you down and making you feel less than what you want to feel, right? Basically, you should not really be thinking about anything unless if you are deliberately creating. And when you train yourself to be awake and aware and detached as opposed to lost in the illusion, then that is going to be something easy to do. You're going to think on deliberate terms. When you are lost in the illusion and you're attached and identified with the illusion, with your human body and with the illusion that comes with it, you're thinking about your past, you're playing scenarios over and over again, and you're thinking about good things too. So this is a trap too, is like if you think about, yourself in a good way and what you think about yourself in a good way or something you did in the past that was nice, it just brings you right back when you're identified with the illusion, it brings you right back into the crap that you're dealing with right now that you can't get rid of. Because if you're this version of you, human version of you over here, then you're a human version of you over here too, and you're disempowered there. And that's what a lot of people are experiencing. You're just thinking about yourself as a human. So stop it. So stop it. There has never been a version of you that you have ever been that equals the you that you are right now. You are not anyone you've ever been. You're no experience that you've ever had. And you are not a victim to any reality or any circumstances or any person. The scenario that you have going on in your head, like you can create whatever it is that you want. And a lot of people like when people come to me, for one-to-ones and talk to me, they tell me about that they remember and they know exactly how they manifested the negative situation that they're in right now. And I'm like, okay, great. So like if you did that, then like you can do it a different way. Yes, you can. So when you convince yourself and do some presence practices, meditation, mindfulness, you practice this state of detachment from story, detachment from emotions, detachment from thoughts, detachment from thinking that you are a human in a linear time-space circumstantial world. You will have the ability to wake up and say to yourself, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not thinking that. I'm not doing that. I'm not thinking that. And guess what? It does not have to take that long to do. And it depends on where you are. And it depends on what your practice is. It depends on how hard are you pursuing this? How much do you really believe in it? It does come down to reinforcement, what you're surrounding yourself with, how you are configuring your life as far as what are you allowing yourself to be influenced by? How hard are you after this life that looks like being a living God in form? How much do you really believe in this? And are you surrounding yourself with things that help you to do that? And how much are you practicing? So in the beginning, if you're in a place, not everybody, even if you're starting out, it doesn't mean that you're in a bad place, but if you're in a bad place, it can feel like it's nearly freaking impossible because you do the practices and you don't really feel better. And then you do more practices, you don't really feel better. And then if you feel better, it's a little bit for not very long. And it's just like very frustrating, the whole process. But I'll tell you this, if you do the practices, like the stuff that I teach in Superlife, like mindfulness or, whatever it is that helps you reach a different vibration. It's not about anything that you do here in your mental body. Okay. Ultimately, you can use your mind to help you move frequencies and come to a frequency where you are actually able to like be in alignment with a different way of being, a different way of manifesting your reality. But it really comes down to, are you able to move your vibration? When you detach and move your vibration, you're going to feel it and it just changes everything. And in the beginning, even if you don't feel like you're making progress, just know that, you're going through the motions, you're doing the best that you can, you're trying to wake yourself up, remind yourself again and again and again. And even if you're doing it 50, 60, 100 times in a minute, you're bringing yourself back to awareness and detachment. You're reminding yourself that you are not stuck to this human mode way of being, this human environment, this human world. This is not the end all be all environment. This is not the end all be all. You are doing what it takes to claim your ability to manifest. So even if you don't feel it for like in the beginning or for weeks or whatever it takes, okay? You're going through the motions, you're going through the practices, and you just believe that this is not the end all be all. And you will get to this place where you come into a sense of detachment. But it's like you're pursuing a feeling. So you have to make sure that anything that makes you feel good, motivated, inspired, anything that makes you feel a sense of relief, anything that makes you feel hope, these things you want to experience more of, surround yourself with, and these are the things that you want to pursue and do. So this could be anything from exercising, taking care of yourself, following your joy, basically meditating and being mindfulness and presence practices. And it could be, studying, watching videos. A lot of people notice that, oh, well, when I watch Jasmine's videos, I feel better. Like, well, if that's the case, then do that more because that feeling is the feeling of detachment and empowerment that enables you to make decisions with your mind, like what you're going to think about, what you're going to do, and what you're going to manifest. That is what you need to know. So you keep pursuing this on a vibrational level, and you keep working with your mind at the same time, determining, yes, I believe in this way. You're choosing what you believe, you're choosing what to pursue, and you're following through to the best of your ability without trying too hard. I'm not doing that. I'm not entertaining that. I'm not entertaining that. And before you're able to really pull it off naturally, vibrationally, you're just following a prescription in your mind where you're like, I'm going to do this, kind of like, like if you're working out, you're like, I'm going to do this every day, 100 times, blah, 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 until I get results. And then you get results. So, okay. Um, I'm getting a lot of questions about, how people can be working with me. So I have changed my community, Superlife, and it's all about helping you change your identity to being a living God in form and how exactly to do that. And we're doing it in a really fun way as a community. This month, we're working with Mystic, and Mystic has mystical abilities. And so I'm teaching you guys how to help yourself develop your own mystical abilities this month that can help you manifest what you want. Like, you want to know something into being? Okay, well, we talked about that in Mystic, and we're going to be talking about that more. Next month, we're doing a completely different avatar, Cosmic Badass, and she's going to have her own abilities that you're going to learn how to take on as your own if you want to. This all about you identifying as a living God in form instead of as a limited human being. And we're going through this. So those links are in Superlife, or those links for Superlife are below. Tier 1 is where you get all access to Avatar Unlocked, which is what I just talked about. Tier 3 is if you want to get all access to that, but you also want to get sessions with me. There are not very many openings for that at all because I'm not going to have time for it. So that's a limited thing that's going on. And if you want sessions with me, there's also a link for that down below as well. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.